Well, I got to change out this laundromat, and I'm going to talk about something I brought up the other day, and that was territories. And a lot of people were curious what I meant by that. Some people that have laundromats, they know what I'm talking about. But your dealers have territories. We'll show you all the quarters as we go. Dealers have territories, and what a territory is it's like a franchise. See the quarters? Want to see some quarters? Look at that. This laundromat is not my busiest, but it still does pretty good. But it's not my busiest. That one's pretty good. Look at that. Just never know which machine is going to be the best. Empty my 20 pounders here. So dealers have territories, and what happens is when you go to get a quote for equipment, and you have your laundromat or looking at a laundromat, the dealer's first question to you is going to be, what's your address? The reason they want to know what your address is because there's clothes still in there. I don't know how people do that. They leave their clothes behind. It's like all these naked people running around don't have clothes. So they ask you what your address is so they know where the equipment's going. And it tells Speed Queen what dealership gets the business. And that's the territory. So you could have a territory that's the entire state. Okay? You could have a dealership that has all of Ohio. I'm going to show you why you need to have an 80-pound machine in your laundromat. The biggest machines you can have, get them. Look at this. Okay? That's one day. That's one day. I'm telling you, get the biggest machines you can find. The bigger the machine is, the more they think it cleans better. Now, I vend my 80-pounder at $8.50. That's actually the cheapest one in town. Most of them in town are $9. And then this machine next to it, that's a 50-pounder. But when they ask you your address, back to the dealership, the territories, they're trying to figure out where this laundromat's going to be, because a dealership cannot sell equipment in someone else's territory unless they can prove to Speed Queen that they're ignoring customers. It's the only way. So if a dealership knows another dealer is just not going after the business, they can get Speed Queen to let them do a one-time sell in that area. A dealership could have 3 states. They could have 2 states. They could have half one state and half another. Now, I know what you're thinking right away. Well, how's that fair if you want to buy Speed Queen equipment? It's not. Dealerships are set up to make you pay premium price for equipment. Other companies, like Dexter, Continental, Electrolux, Alliance, they really don't undercut each other too much because they understand that it's a pie, okay? And all of them kind of want to be in business. So they don't go stepping on each other's toes too often. Now, I know a lot of you are going to be triggered by that, and you're going to be like, well, that just isn't fair. Well, I know I'm out of the frame, sorry. That's part of the industry. I mean, that's why when you ask these questions of me and you say, how much do machines cost? Why is it such a secret? Well, the reason it's a secret is because they don't want you to have the knowledge, which will give you power over them, to get a better deal. A lot of things I'm telling you in these videos, dealers hate, absolutely loathe me talking about. Some of these repairs I'm showing you, they loathe me showing you. Okay? There's dealers that when they sell people equipment, they'll say, don't tell anybody what you paid for it. Why? What do you got to hide? And I understand that some people love their dealers and they're going to honor that. Well, I'm sorry, but that's not really the way the free world works. That's the way a communist country works. That's the way fascism works. That's not the way following Keenan works. One thing I'm going to do in these videos and my channel, and I'm going to be 100% honest, because I don't want you guys to get duped in, suckered in, or watch a video and I make something up and then all of a sudden you go spend your life savings on it and the next thing you know, you lost your money. Now, one of the things you're probably going to ask me is, how did I find out about territories? If it's such a kind of, they don't talk about it. It's one of the things, unless you ask them, they don't talk about it. From day one, I've bought parts on the internet, eBay, Amazon, Facebook. And when I bought parts from a specific dealer, and I'm not going to tell you where the dealer is, but the dealer's actually 3 or 4 states away from me. And I didn't know they were a dealer. They just had these parts. I needed them. They were cheap, so I bought them. And they were OEM. For all of you that get triggered about my non-OEM parts I buy. And when I talked to this guy, he actually informed me he was a dealer. And I said, that's cool. And I said, what about ever buying equipment from you? You seem to have really good prices. And that's when he told me, he goes, I can't sell you new equipment. I can sell you parts and I can sell you used equipment, but I cannot sell you new equipment. He goes, unless you have an address in my territory and you want to come here with a U-Haul. And I'm like, so if I had an address, like say a family member, he goes, yeah, I could sell you equipment then. But you'd have to come here and pick it up. You'd have to go to that address and pick it up. I'm like, wow. This is also how I found out I was getting hosed on my first time trying to buy brand new dryers. I got a price of $6,500 for a stack, I think it was stack 45-pound dryers. No stainless steel, just painted. Now this was 5 years ago, okay? That's the price that my local area gave me. And it just seemed awful funny because they were willing to sell me a single pocket 55-pounder for $2,800. And I'm like, you're going to sell me a stack dryer for $65? I mean, there's more, a little more sheet metal. There are 2 dryers. I get that, but not that much more. 55 pounds, 90 pounds. I mean, that's what we're talking, right? I'm like, okay, it's a little bigger, but not $4 grand bigger. And he goes, well, the single pockets are a better deal every day. Okay. So when salespeople and I know I'm getting hosed, I'll just kind of be like, okay, and I push them aside. Well, anyway, long story short, I talked to the guy that I bought these other parts from. I said, you know, what does a 45-pound stack with stainless steel baskets, doors, everything? Keenan, that dryer would be $4,500. It's better, and he told me, he goes, Keenan, it's better to buy stacks because they're cheaper than single pockets. It takes us less time to build them. We can build more of them. He goes, they're cheaper. So anyway, long story short, I found out how to bid my dealer against his own company because he didn't have the Hipsch dealership. The Hipsch dealership covered my area, was another dealer in another state. And then he had the Speed Queen dealer in my area. So those territories overlap. So you'll have Alliance products, Ipso, Hipsch, Unimac, Speed Queen, they will overlap. And so your dealer might be the Speed Queen Ipso dealer, but somebody else is the Hipsch dealer. And so you can get prices from 2 people, and it's the same machine. Now, Hipsch was always considered the Cadillac of Alliance. Like you had Hipsch, Speed Queen, Ipso. And that's how they ranked them. Ipso was the cheap. Now, they don't make them anymore. They only have the 2. They don't sell. They make Ipsos, but they don't make them for the coin-vended laundromat market. The only thing they make for the coin laundromat-vended market in Alliance is Speed Queen and Hipsch. Unimac is only OPL, which is on-premise laundry. I had that question too. Somebody else answered it, but on-premise laundry, so like hotels, linens, that kind of thing, sports facilities, people that don't want to use quarters, basically the staff of a building. Restaurants will get them. So anyway, that's how I found out how to bid those two against each other, and I got a better price. Now, one thing I don't do is once I get a good price from a Hips dealer, I don't take it back to the Speed Queen dealer and say, well, can you beat this? And then take it back and say you can beat that. It's called bid shopping. I go out, I get two bids. Whoever's lowest is getting the deal, and both of them know it. You want the business, you don't want the business, give me your best price and we'll see who gets it. I do give my Hips dealer quite a bit of business. So I have Hips and Speed Queen. And the reason I do that is because if you don't, eventually they'll stop giving you quotes. They will, they'll just stop. And so to keep that relationship, once in a while you're gonna have to buy something from them if you go this route. Now I know a lot of you have Dexter. You know, Dexter just makes Dexter. But that's another place. Continental's another place to get prices from. Electrolux in my area is non-existent. I couldn't even get return phone calls, and I got 3 laundromats. So in my area, that's not even an option. We have no dealer support. That's the other thing. People ask me what brand is good. You got to go where you have dealer support. So figure out, drive around your local laundromats and see what people are using. You don't have to talk to them, but see what they're using. And that's going to tell you who's probably the most prominent, proactive dealer in that area. And like our area, you go around, they're pretty much all Speed Queen. There is one Maytag store and there's one Dexter store. Nobody likes the Maytag store and nobody likes the Dexter store because those two can't get any service. They can't get their parts on time. Their machines are junk. Dexter is actually good machine-wise. The problem is in our area, there's nobody to service you. So you're kind of out there on the wind. If you don't know how to repair it, you're SOL. The Maytag is just a horrible machine. I don't care how people want to spin Maytag or how they want to tell you it's great. Every laundromat channel you watch on YouTube, I laugh because they'll have Maytags sitting in them and they replace them with something else. Trust me, Maytag is the biggest bunch of junk ever made. And it used to be the best. But then they started cheapening their product up. They moved to Mexico. They make junk. They just do. Trust me. If you want to have a Maytag store because the financing is through the roof, it's going to be a cheap payment. They've promised you the world. Knock yourself out. I have put 2 Maytag stores out of business twice, each of them, because they're junk equipment. Neither location I bought. I should have bought the one. I haven't yet. Now they have Speed Queen. The reason they have Speed Queen is because Maytag is junk. It just is. Every time I see somebody buying an ADC, American Dryer Company, which is Maytag, or Maytag washers, I just cringe because right away, even in the forums, they'll be like, I got these used machines. I got a great deal. I need help with this repair item, this code, this ADC dryer is not doing this. Exactly. Now, I do admit all machines will have flaws. Even new machines, whether you buy used or new, you're going to have breakdowns. It happens. I've had brand new machines, the motors went out the first day. Now, they were under warranty, but the labor's not under warranty. So since I did it myself, it didn't cost me anything. But just because you get new machines and they get delivered, they get installed, a month later the motor goes out, a lot of dealers will cover the parts, but they don't cover the labor. And they'll charge you for drive time, and they'll charge you a fuel surcharge, and all kinds of other things, like eating lunch, they'll charge you for it. It's crazy. So I just wanted to explain what the territory was. There's a few other tidbits here about brands and how to get a better price. I got a few more videos coming up about different topics on this. So I hope that answers some questions because I get a lot of them about new and used equipment. I get a lot of questions about territories. I just want to give a little more info on that. It seems like I don't cover things quite all the time. And if I don't, say something. Say, can you clarify on that? And the reason is because I'm so used to doing this all the time, I don't think about the little things. I don't think, hey, they don't know what a territory is. If I say something or you don't understand something, just leave me a comment below and say, hey, can you talk about this a little more? I'm going to show you something else cool with this laundromat. Alexa, turn off the lights.
Okay.
Alexa, good night.
Good night. Talk to you tomorrow.
See, I love that. So now it's time for me to go home and go to bed. Now, one thing this laundromat does have, besides these kick-ass Rinnai tankless water heaters on demand, this furnace is actually a downdraft. So it actually sucks in the air from up there, runs it down through the furnace, down through the floor, and the vents come up in the front of the building. It really circulates awesome. I wish my other laundromats were this. They're the opposite, where they dump down through the ceiling. This place heats and cools better than any building I've ever owned. If I ever build a building, it's going to have a downdraft furnace because it runs unbelievably. Make sure I got that door locked. Well, that's all the time I got tonight because I'm going to go to bed. I appreciate all the comments. I appreciate all the subscribers. I really love doing this for you. I have a lot of fun. Gives me something to do. So, do you like this kind of content? You want to learn more about laundromats or businesses or just the weird things I do from time to time? Hit the subscribe button. If you found this video helpful, hit the like button. I always appreciate that. Can never have enough likes. Till next time, take it easy.